All right. Let's let's move back to the mainland and talk about Cuomo because I know we have we have limited time and I want to make sure that that we do that tonight. So do we have the non-apology apology and then
technically Puerto Rico is the 6th borough, so it's connected.
Fair enough.
I want to address the recent allegations that have been made against me. As you probably know, the Attorney General is doing an independent review, and I will fully cooperate with that review. Now, the lawyers say I shouldn't say anything when you have a pending review until that review is over. I understand that. I'm a lawyer too. But I want New Yorkers to hear from me directly on this. First, I fully support a woman's right to come forward. And I think it should be encouraged in every way. I now understand that I acted in a way that made people feel uncomfortable. It was unintentional, and I truly and deeply apologize for it. I feel awful about it, and frankly, I am embarrassed by it, and that's not easy to say, but that's the truth. But this is what I want you to know, and I want you to know this from me directly. I never touched anyone inappropriately. I never touched anyone inappropriately. I never knew at the time that I was making anyone feel uncomfortable. I never knew at the time I was making anyone feel uncomfortable. And I certainly never, ever meant to offend anyone or hurt anyone or cause anyone any pain. That is the last thing I would ever want to do. I ask the people of this state to wait for the facts from the Attorney General's report before forming an opinion. Get the facts, please, before forming an opinion. And the Attorney General is doing that review. I will fully cooperate with it, and then you will have the facts. And make a decision when you know the facts. I also want you to know that I have learned from what has been an incredibly difficult situation for me as well as other people. And I've learned an important lesson. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whatever pain I caused anyone. I never intended it. And I will be the better for this experience.
There are facts, and then there are opinions. And I've always separated the two. When I do briefings, I put out the facts, and then I offer my opinions. But they are two different concepts. Politicians who don't know a single fact, but yet form a conclusion and an opinion are, in my opinion, reckless and dangerous. The people of New York should not have confidence in a politician who takes a position without knowing any facts or substance. That, my friends, is politics at its worst. Politicians take positions for all sorts of reasons. including political expediency and bowing to pressure. But people know the difference between playing politics, bowing to cancel culture, and the truth. People know the difference between playing politics, bowing to cancel culture, and the truth.
Before we get Nomiki's reaction, I just want you to officially confirm for us you were not playing that on 0.5 speed. Like for some reason when he talks about this, he just slows it down to that point.
I also promise you I didn't cut the things twice. Like he said all of those things twice.
That's very Cuomo. Very Cuomo.
And he slows it down further the second time.
It's like the guy in the scene in Goodfellas where they give everybody his nicknames, whatever it is, Joey 2 times.
Yeah.
Hey, stop with the Italian references. Don't you know all these attacks? All these attacks. It's because there's an anti-Italian. Oh my God, that's literally what came out today. Was that you're discriminating against Italian sons of governors who control the state budgets for a decade and who have brothers on CNN and whose ex-wife was a Kennedy and. May I go on?
No, yeah. I mean, he's clearly a very powerless and vulnerable person.
Very
Italian rights are human rights. You got the right to just grab people and kiss them on both cheeks, and I don't know. It's just
yeah. Right.
Listen, I'm a Greek. I feel like actually, 23andMe, I'm 23% Italian, so I have the right to say this. Okay, they occupied our islands. I can speak on their behalf.
Hey, I'm 50% Italian, and you're not living up to my lived experience here as an Italian man living in New York.
No, I mean, I assume that's just. I mean, yeah. I mean, COVID must have been rough for you, Forrest. Because you must like.
I can't
celebrate Columbus Day. They're going after Columbus now. What's next?
Worst episode of The Sopranos. I can't even watch that one all the way through. But
it has some great moments. I like Christopher being confused about whether Gary Cooper was gay at the end. But
I use the it's Italian discrimination react screenshot all the time on everything.
Yeah, so I like the fact that Cuomo and his defenders are playing both sides of the street at this point, and whatever. I mean, obviously,
it's amazing.
As gross as everything that all of this is about it's not exactly the worst thing he's done, right? I mean, he did also kill a whole bunch of people in nursing homes. That's not worth.
Those are facts. Those are technically he didn't kill. Let's be clear. Like I'm going to be the journalist hat for a second. I don't throw him a bone that often, but he didn't kill the people in the nursing homes. Sure. He covered up the numbers in which pretty much it was happening everywhere, like whether you could change it or not. I mean, maybe he did because he moved them from hospitals to these nursing homes. I mean, yeah, so there is a case to be made there, but
Well, now he's going to kill everyone in nursing homes.
At the very least, to have one last Sopranos reference, it's the thing he was when Carmela asks what happened to Richie Aprile, and Tony says, after this many years of marriage, don't make me make you an accessory after the fact. At the very least, is an accessory after the fact.
I thought you were going to say it's a retirement community. They're not included in the nursing home numbers.
Exactly.
I am so happy I rewatched The Sopranos from start to finish in like March of last year, so I'm getting all these references.
Nice.
I have the Cuomo died in a nursing home, died in a hospital. Who cares? Clip that we played when Emma was on, but oh
my God,
yeah,
have you seen that one?
Ruthless. No, I didn't. There was a time in my life, if I can be clear, I was obsessed with Cuomo. I read every book on him, pretty much every article. He's a fascinating study in. I mean, I actually think he's an extremely skilled politician. His Achilles heel is he hates people.
A year ago, New York women are coronavirus crushing on Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah. He is single, guys. Just want you to know. That
wasn't clear in all this.
What I don't understand is Why couldn't he have called it one of these women who was like hiring publicists to have like profiles of them in the New York Post, like, you know, Long Island, like literally he could have just called one of those women up, and he had to go to his staffers, which, you know, remember, he was an attorney general and he investigated these things, as he said.
Well, because I mean, with Cuomo, I feel like it's all about power. It's all about like, what can he do? Like, what can he do with that power? And it's never anything to benefit people, like besides the people around him and himself. So like, it makes perfect sense that like Cuomo would have just grabbed somebody and kissed them that was like under him on the, I guess, the hierarchical structure of politics.
So to defend this, he's trying both things impressively. So on the one hand, he's having people run this anti-Italian discrimination. Like I saw somebody today actually compared it to Emmett Till.
I said that. Oh my God! What on earth?
Yeah. So he's running the woke defense, but he also says in that last clip that it's that this is cancel culture, which is awesome, because I think this is like a general, like, that, you know, that even Cuomo has latched onto this, because like this is something that's like struck me lately as a little weird, you know, that it's like as recently as last summer when there was all the endless discourse about the Harper's letter, like it seemed like 95% of the time when people used the phrase cancel culture, I knew what they were talking about. They were talking about like online pile-ons and, you know, getting people fired and stuff like that. And now it really feels like in the last couple of months, it's been brought in to the point where people are using it to talk about like Dr. Seuss and shit like that, and like I just have no idea what they mean anymore.
I wish you had saved that for the transition to the other clip where
please don't tell me I have to debate Dr. Seuss again. I've done it like 6 times last week.
Yeah.
Every time on cable news they call you like, and by the way, we're talking about Dr. Seuss. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
I'll be sitting on my deathbed looking back and saying, could I have saved, you know, what could I have done with those 5 hours of my life instead of talking about
you Dr. killed all the Who's down in Whoville, all the ones on that flower that was
yeah, right, like it's yeah, right, whatever. So you are most definitely not going to be asked to debate the actual Dr. Seuss issue, because I think that you know, I think the official GTA position is there's something, you know, I'm in no shade on you. I mean, it's what they asked you to come on to talk about, but like, I think the official show position is there's something deeply wrong with anybody who spent more than 90 seconds thinking about the Dr. Seuss thing.
I'll co-sign that position.
I'll co-sign it. I did. So, well, the best part is what I went on air to talk about it last week. I don't know. I came up with some spin about it. I can't, like, you guys are too focused on cancel culture when you're not focused on, you know, you whatever, your definitions of cancel culture all over the place. And then the Republican was like, actually, I want to talk about education. Can we talk about how public school, why aren't we talking about why schools aren't being funded right now? I'm like, what is going on here? I was like, yes, let's talk about it. We basically
let's talk about that. Jesus. So it's not the actual issue, but I do want you to play that clip for us.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Did Cuomo decide to change the subject on talk about Dr. Seuss?
No. I mean, you know, Cuomo, I think that, yeah, I mean, if there's some, again, like I'm cautiously optimistic that this means that Cuomo is on his way out, because it seems like he's reached the point where he's throwing everything against the wall that he can possibly think of. Right. You know, it's cancel culture, it's anti-Italian lynching, you know, whatever he could think of, and you know, whatever. I mean, I'll even say on the cancel culture thing, like, I find this frustrating because as someone who actually does think that online pile-ons and, you know, and sort of hair trigger firings and stuff are a real problem that the left should take seriously, like, you know, using this thing that like as a label for that to talk about like every single petty culture war complaint that has absolutely nothing to do with that seems super unhelpful. But yeah, you were saying. And
just one little note that is important to keep in mind here. In 2 weeks, the budget's due from him. Right. And so there's a lot of like in New York, this is when everyone's like, "Oh, what's going on in New York?" I'm like, "Well, there's what's going on, and then there's what's going on." So what's the subtext here? And the subtext here is, they're about to go into budget negotiations. He's probably trying to leverage that. I mean, if he does have to step down, which, in my mind, it was like if Biden says to step down, he's going to have to step down. I mean, that would happen behind closed doors probably. But Biden has said, like, let the investigation play out, which signals that that's not going to happen anytime soon. And Hillary probably won't step up. And those are the only two people I can think that could publicly push him in that direction. But if there were a situation in which he did have to step down, I mean, the state would be in utter chaos with a budget that is looming, and it's always a toxic time in Albany. You have the IDC, which is out. Now you have an actual Democratic Senate that is, just angry at him. He has no friends, no political friends, like, at all. I wasn't surprised Gillibrand came out against him. We'll just leave it there. So it would, with the budget crisis that we're dealing with in New York, with economic crisis, with Cuomo out, I don't know. I mean, maybe the delaying the process, which might inevitably still lead to him stepping down, might be smarter. And I can't believe I'm saying that because he's a pain in the ass to deal with when it comes to the budget. But, like, the alternative is Kathy Hochul inherits a seat and suddenly has to maneuver this in a matter of weeks. I mean, I don't have an opinion on either one, but we do have to think about this.
I have kind of a not a theory, but, like, there's kind of a thing about Cuomo being used almost as like a sacrificial lamb to the Democrats' coronavirus response, because it came out that Gretchen Whitmer or whatever, they're doing a similar like a inquiry into her handling of nursing home deaths, and it seems like a lot of the heroes that the Democrats have kind of constructed around this coronavirus response in terms of governors are starting to fall. So it seems like if Democrats kind of wanted to flee from Cuomo, like, the harassment allegations would be a perfect time to do it instead of, like, a further investigation into the way that nursing home deaths were handled. I mean, kind of that's like because it seems like they jumped ship so fast. You know what I mean? Like, and part of that is obviously that, they no longer, if they support Cuomo, might not have, like, the moral high ground in their mind, like, when it comes to harassment allegations. But the other thing is that, it works better for them, I feel like, to have Cuomo go down for this and not for, like, nursing home deaths, and, like, not have the media examine their own role in propping him up for the last year, not have, like, all of these things would kind of completely demolish the line about, like, the Democrats being the more responsible party on coronavirus.
Right. And the referendum on Gavin Newsom too. I mean, Warren and Sanders came out and said that they didn't support the referendum. So it's interesting.
Yeah. No, that's a little, I love, I love Bernie, and there's a conversation to be had about how much of this even, tactically makes sense or not. I'll certainly say, for my own satisfaction, I wish that you were much less of a team player about stuff like this, but of course, obviously we want to spend the next 3 hours talking about Dr. Seuss. So, Forrest, let's roll that clip.